Всем привет, друзья! Мы продолжаем играть в Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. В этот раз, я запишу все-таки маленькую серию. В прошлый раз что-то я заигрался в этой кузнице. Первую часть стараюсь все активнее проходить, чтобы приступить к более тщательному и более развернутому изучению второй части. Ладно, перестать заниматься фигней. Дай посмотрим на наш список заданий. А,
Good afternoon. It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semin, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semin and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semin that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semin.
Those two hands of yours, Venser and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. Bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Samin's crossbow. And some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right, I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them. There's a couple more things I'd like to ask about smithing.
Ask away.
Thanks. I'd like you to teach me something.
For a few groschen, it's no problem. What do you want to know?
ну, я пока нищеброд. В первой части я вообще не замечал каких-то проблем с деньгами. А тут замечаю. Написано оседлать и украсть, но я его оседлал и крал в другом месте. Неужели в этом же месте у меня будет проблема сейчас? Ну конь-то, блядь, из Тросковицы, правильно? Короче, я надеюсь, меня никто сейчас не заподозрит в краже. Я на нем как бы приехал. Откуда они могут знать? Но он без сиденья, ладно. Это можно меня еще спалить. Что это не мой конь. Но может и дикий конь. Тут, кстати, задание есть. Направления разные, что в этой части, что в предыдущей. Путаюсь немного.
Whoa, whoa.
rocks at night.
You're having problems with the Jelliavites?
Not just me, my friend. They're the biggest bastards around. They've been nothing but trouble for years. The winter before last, they piled snow in front of everyone's doors at night, so no one could get out of their house. And last year, they broke into my cellar and pissed in my beer barrel.
Gracious. I hope you got your aim back on them.
Not yet, no. But since you're here, I've got a plan you could help me out with. I'd pay you well. You can count on that.
Well, if you've got it all figured out, why don't you do it yourself?
Right. And who's going to run the inn in the meantime, eh? Besides, everyone in Jelioff knows us. If someone from here shows up there, they'll get suspicious.
What exactly would you like me to do?
Don't worry. I won't make you do any shoveling or pissing anything. But I'll tell you exactly what I have in mind, only after you promise to help me. I'd hate to reveal my plan, only for you to go off and tell the Jeliovites right away.
Может, так и сделаю. Даже если пообещаю, какая разница.
All right. I'll help you.
Listen up then. Old Olbram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Jelioff, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is. The finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Very protective too. Now you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Olbram is going to lose his mind. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Trotskovitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right, then. Olbram's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Olbram's going to lose his mind. I can't wait. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught. Why do you and the Jelliov lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Olbram's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial. But the Jeliovites took it from us.
And how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper ass kicking so he'd remember it. And remember it he did. But then fucking Olbram came along, claiming it was the other way around. And that pasture belonged to Jelioff.
Well, can't you all just reach some kind of agreement?
Do you think we haven't tried? But there's no talking to the Jeliovites. Year after year we meet in that pasture. I tell it like it was, but Olbram always starts spewing his lies. Then we end up arguing until the sun sets. And when the Jeliovites are at wit's end, they come at us, and nothing ever gets solved. We managed to convince them to at least give us back half the pasture. But I know the whole bloody thing belongs to us. We can't just leave things like this.
And how did they take it from?
There's a but then...
Well, that's a tough nut to crack. Have you tried asking Lord von Burgov for help?
Of course, but he'd have none of it. He said it's up to the Trotskovitz bailiff to sort it out. But the bailiff couldn't care less. He said we should deal with Olbram ourselves, or he'll have us caned and clapped in the pillory.
What's new around here?
Vostotek. Lord von Beregov's huntsman is a regular here. He might have some work for you. He's got a cottage near Vidlak Pond. So if you know your way around the woods, you could go and offer him your help. I hope he hasn't started drinking somewhere else. He's my best customer. You could also stop by and see Old Mouth. He's the local storyteller. He could tell you all sorts of interesting things. But only if you bring him some liquor. Don't forget, I have some here to sell, if you want. And that's all I'd say.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper. I'll have a look at the wares.
Это все, что у меня есть? Да. Я нищий.
Maybe next time then.
Блять, вот неудобно сделали с этим стиком. Ладно. С кузнецом поговорить надо.
That's a fine maypole.
И зачем это? Ну ладно.
I need something that'll put animals to sleep. Prochek said you might know something.
Did you get tired of blacksmithing and take up farming instead? I just happen to know of something. I used a concoction that will put even a startled mare to sleep in no time. I once accidentally drank some and slept for 3 days. But the recipe is an old blacksmith's secret. The kind you don't just give away. You're in the trade, so I can tell you. Listen up then. You take some poppy and thistle and boil them in oil. Then, after it cools off, you add a little herb Paris.
Маг чертополох остывает и вороний глаз.
That doesn't sound too complicated. Thank you.
Но он запомнил этот рецепт или чего? Маг, чертополох и вороний глаз. Где вороний глаз растет? Вообще не знаю. Следующий.
Christ, what a day. Huh? Hail, pilgrim! If it's good company you're after, that's one thing we're never short of.
I'd be happy to join you, if I might have the honor of knowing who I'm sitting with.
Two fools who maybe can't see past the tip of their nose.
Well, I was looking for some merry company, but it's like a mortuary here.
Aye, well, we're not going to find Baldik today anyway. He could be miles away by now.
Well, if Baldic's a puppy, he should be able to pick up his own scent and return, shouldn't he?
He ain't no puppy. God, I've grown so fond of the little fella's adorable waddle.
What in God's name? You've lost an infant.
Are you barking mad? Jesus. It's not a child that's gone.
Да о ком речь
But
тогда?
our chief, Mikolash, will still beat the shit out of us for losing his precious pet.
So, friends, precisely what have you lost, and where did it waddle off to?
It was a bear. Well, a bear cub.
Ебать.
Damn it all. He was so sweet. Only 2 years old. You can still tame them at that age. We're done for when Master Mikolash finds out.
What's that you say? A bear cub? Who on earth are you two?
Skilled trappers. We hunt game for our esteemed masters. And Baldic's mother was one hell of a ferocious beast.
And what does your Mikolash have to do with all this?
It was him what killed the mother bear. A finer beast there never was. But she had this cub with her, so he got it into his head we should go and bring it to him. And now the cub's lost. And we've had it.
Ah, the pair of you are sitting here like two sacks of misery. How about a shooting contest? Take your mind off things.
Well, it'd be your loss, because neither Shabesta here nor me is exactly novice archers. What's it to be? Longbow or crossbow?
Bow, I reckon.
All right, I'll get everything ready and find some fellas. But first, you need something to shoot from. Come back when you're ready. Arrows I can give you, but I want to see you carrying a bow. Got it?
Понял. Может, мне просто вас отпиздить и забрать все. Ладно. Будем пытаться играть пока честным путем.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Блин, жалко, лошадь не реагирует. Я понимаю, что она не моя, но... Надо было делать как в Red Dead Redemption. Чем больше ты ездишь на лошади, тем роднее она тебе становится. Было бы круто.
Hail.
People call you the mouth, right? They say you tell all sorts of stories.
I'm no mouth to you. My name is Denyek. Got that? What do people call you then? Bughead? Arseface?
I'm sorry, Stenyak. I'm Henry.
Pleased to meet you. But you were right about the stories. I could tell you stories so sad they'd make the devil cry. Or would you prefer something so scary it'll make the hairs on your ass turn white? But it's a lot of hard work for me. Now, if you had something to drink or a couple of groschen, that might help loosen my tongue.
How can I know if it'll be worth it?
If you don't believe me, ask anyone. They all know me in the village, and they all know I'm good.
So they all sing your praises, even if you stutter?
You know what? Go to hell. You can bugger right off if you're looking to insult me. But if you want to listen, you better cough up some coin.
I know quite a few stories myself. How about a trade? A story for a story.
All right, then. But if it's the one about the magic porridge pot, don't bother. I've heard it 100 times. And that story always leaves me feeling hungry.
I know a romantic tale about a knight, his lady love, and 3 impossible tasks he had to undertake to win her heart. He had to bring her the sweetest wine, tame the wildest horse, and make a crown with the rarest gem.
And
Так я знаю это.
What happened when he'd done all three?
Well, the lady of his heart showed her gratitude by giving him the most precious thing she had. And I'm not talking about gold.
Ho! A raunchy ending. That'll be popular with the lads round here. If I were you, I'd make it longer. To last a whole evening. Had a wicked stepmother.
Я только недавно выполнял задание это в первой части.
Now, I'll tell you a tale.
Это не просто сказка.
So what kind of story would you like to hear?
Tell me a sad story.
Wise choice. Nothing better than a nice tragedy. What's more, when people cry, they get thirsty. So then they need another drink, and sometimes buy me one too. So, once upon a time, there lived in these very lands 2 brothers. The older was called Kuba, the younger, Matthias. They were both woodcutters, like their father and his father before him. One day, at the height of summer, they were working in the woods. The air was as hot as a furnace, so Matthias went to a nearby pond to cool himself. But as he was leaning over the cold water, there was a loud splash. His axe had got loose from his belt. In haste, he began to search the muddy bed of the pond, and his hands soon touched something hard and heavy. He pulled it out and could not believe his eyes. He pulled out an axe. Yes, but not his old one. It was an axe made of pure silver.
Good God. I'd grab that without a second thought.
Maybe you would, but Matthias would never. He was an honest man, and with a big swing he threw the
Это нечестный человек, это тупой еблан.
searched the pond again, and this time he pulled out his own axe. Nothing but dull iron and old wood.
Wait, Matthias threw the silver axe back? What a fool! He could have sold it.
A fool, you say? You'd better listen well. Matthias was just about to leave when suddenly a water goblin came out of the pond, silver axe in his hands, and he said, "You're a righteous man, Matthias, and for your honesty, you may keep."
Ой, какая чушь ебаная. Заткнись
Not
уже.
hanging around for the goblin to change his mind, took up both axes, gave us thanks, and ran to tell Kuba all about it. Kuba, however, was not best pleased with his little brother's fortune. He deeply envied Matthias for his newfound wealth. So, he set out to try the same thing. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him straight to the pond, threw his own axe in, and began a pretend search for it. Yet Kuba had no luck. He pulled out the axe he'd thrown in himself. So he tried again. Tricked by sunlight, he grabbed something shiny, only to pull out his old iron axe again. Enraged, he hurled his axe back into the water and yelled, "Fuck this axe! I want a silver one." But the water goblin heard his shameful cry and was greatly upset by Kuba's greed. So, when Kuba reached down into the water for a third time, the water goblin seized his hand, pulled him down whole to the dark depths, and drowned him.
Ой. Боже, какую хуйню я сейчас прослушал, блядь. Я даже отвечать не хочу.
That's so cruel. I feel sorry for Kuba.
Aye, and so did Matthias. He went to the water goblin and begged for his brother's body so he could take him home and bury him. But the path back from the pond led over a steep hill, and carrying the weight of the waterlogged body exhausted Matthias. He stopped to rest by an old oak tree, and he used a silver axe to cut off a branch that would serve as a walking stick. But it wasn't enough. Somehow, it was still getting harder to continue up the hill. Then Matthias realized it wasn't his brother's body that was weighing him down. It was the silver axe. The axe was the cause of all this trouble. So he started bashing the silver axe against a big stone with all his might, trying to destroy it. Yet no matter what, he couldn't even make a dent. With the last of his strength, Matthias climbed to the top of the hill. He knew he could go no further, so he found a pretty spot with a view over the valley and dug his brother a grave. There, he buried both his brother and the silver axe that had brought such pain upon them. His final act was to stick the oak branch in the ground by the grave. But lo and behold, the branch grew green leaves and became a tree. The locals have had no dealings with the water goblin since then, but some have had the bad luck to bump into him. And when you walk by the pier, where it all happened, you can still hear his chuckling.
Aye, you told a half-decent tale. I've heard better, though.
Oh, come on. What didn't you like about it?
It was all a fairy tale. I didn't believe in water goblins even as a child. And as a blacksmith, I can tell you that a silver axe is nonsense. It would be completely useless.
You need to think more, genius. A water goblin must have got inside your mind already.
Why hasn't anyone gone looking for the axe, then?
Because it brings misfortune. Didn't you listen to me at all? Look for yourself if you wish. Rock Tower Pond isn't far from here. The Water Goblin's Pier is somewhere among the reeds. But leave me out of it. I'm fine here with my drink. Farewell.
Ой, да я бы тебе в кружку нассал, блядь, если бы можно было за такую сказку. Ну просто чушь какая-то, то, что он забросил вот. Искал топор свой вначале, нашел серебряный, и вместо того, чтобы его забрать, пойти быстренько продать с братом, начал какой-то хуйней заниматься. Какой-то водяной, блядь, вылез еще. Вообще такая муть полнейшая.
Careful!
А еще можно сказки поз... Ты быстро он пропал. Я бы, наверное, за табакой сходил, а потом бы все остальное делал. Это основные задания, все. Но это лучше вернуться обратно. Да, я вообще же не по той дороге направился. Или сюда налево поскакать. Хотя это смысла мало имеет. И топор здесь искать надо. Но если выехать по этой дороге, кстати... Получается тут, да? Опять карта открывается как-то по-ублюдски. Нет, другой выезд. Развернуться и направо. Да, блядь, я не пойму, где там выезд был. Ладно, поскакали здесь пока.
Quick. Go. God.
This could only happen to me.
Вот здесь я хотел свернуть.
Quick.
Whoa!
Блин, мне уже надо заканчивать. Толком ничего сделать не успели, если так откровенно говорить. Набрали задание, послушали сказку и все. Ну и ладно. Я пока никуда не тороплюсь, поэтому всем спасибо за просмотр. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь. А главное, комментируйте, чтобы я мог с вами общаться. До скорых встреч.